Now let me go back to the vision. As I was standing, I saw helicopters going up and down. And these ones were small helicopters. But the Lord said to me, watch. And I saw there was a small copy like the one I was standing. That was in between. And there I saw a very, very gigantic helicopter. And this one, it was unique. But all these that were going up and down, and I could feel fear. I began to feel fear. And fear was around me. And the Lord began to tell me that this is war. This is war. This is war. What you see is USA. There is a war that is coming in USA in the future. You need to pray for USA. USA will put itself in war. We are moving a step by step, going to that time. When it is happening, it will affect a lot of economies. It will affect a lot of people. It will affect a lot of industries. It will affect a lot of nations. Let us pray before it happens. When God is speaking like now, who are we to reason with? Why now? Why is he talking? Why this one? Why this one? Look, he's revealing to somebody who is in Africa. But he's talking about matters that are happening in Europe, that are going to happen in Europe. Which means we have a relationship, we have a benefit, we have an interdependence with it that will affect us. We need to pray.
The growing number of American airstrikes in the Middle East could also become an issue on this campaign trail. The U.S. military hit targets in both Iraq and Yemen last night after attacks on American forces. Charlie D'Agata reports on the risk of a wider war in the region.
With each F-18 fighter jet taking off from the USS Eisenhower and yet more overnight bombing raids, America's involvement in what has now become a regional fight has escalated by the day and night. The new strikes against both Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Houthi targets in Yemen follow U.S.-led bombing raids just the night before, conducted alongside British Typhoon fighters. Defense officials say the strikes were retaliation for more than 150 attacks directed at U.S. forces throughout the region since the war in Gaza began, endangering the roughly 900 elite U.S. troops in Syria who we have visited in recent years and witnessed fighting alongside local Kurdish forces battling ISIS, to American troops on bases across Iraq, where the military maintains a force strength of around 2,500 soldiers. But it was the massive missile strike on the Al-Assad air base in Iraq over the weekend, injuring 4 U.S. service members, that triggered last night's counterattack. The local Iraqi militias and the Houthi rebels in Yemen, all backed by Iran. On the strikes in Yemen, U.S. officials downplayed any talk of escalation.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't define it as a conflict. Again, I would define it as action that's being taken to disrupt and degrade Houthi capability to conduct attacks against the international community.
The strikes have not gone down well in Iraq, and these are U.S. partners. The Iraqi National Security Advisor calling it a flagrant violation of Iraq's sovereignty, saying the U.S. should pile pressure on Israel to halt the offensive in Gaza rather than bombing parts of Iraq. Tony?
Charlie D'Agata for us in Tel Aviv. Charlie, thank you very much.